Time for a check on the TV ratings for week 19. Free to air, top 10 first, James, and The Voice, again, doing amazing numbers for 9.
Yep, absolutely. It's into the live rounds now. This is actually the last of the battle rounds, but the live show's kicked off this week, which we'll see next week. Yep, it's still way up front.
And just turning the page there, MasterChef, how's it been doing for 10?
It's been doing okay, yeah. It's their number one program. The numbers are down a little bit on last year and the previous years, but it's doing very well. The key audience that 10 aims at, it's up there in the top couple of shows for each night it's on.
All right, let's have a look at the subscription TV top 5 sport there, and NRL, AFL games there dominating for Fox Sports and Fox Footy. And just turning the page and looking at the non-sport, top 5 non-sport programs and a movie.
At the top, a couple of movies there in the top 5. The new one and operates. We've talked about how the lifestyle channels used to be part of a JV between Austar and Foxtel. The channels they make for their platforms. Now that's owned solely by Foxtel, or very shortly will be. Dwayne's taking control of that little gem. He's also been promoted to head of Foxtel production, which is a massive task, because we often talk about the $500 million or more that Foxtel invest in local productions every year, and that's they see as one of their key differences with their free-to-air competition. So he'll be sort of charged with looking after that major investment.
And we've also seen, we talk a lot about the number of IPTV offerings coming, and Foxtel has relaunched its catch-up TV service.
Absolutely. You need to plug your IQ into the internet, and you can sort of access a massive library of programs. I actually did mine last weekend. It took me about 20 minutes onto the phone to a call centre, but I don't think everyone will probably have that big a challenge, but I got there eventually. It worked okay. The good news is there's a lot of stuff. The bad news is some of it you've got to pay for. So some of the old archive programs, they might be only a couple of bucks an episode. Some of the old movies they charge for, but there's a lot of content there.
Well, just speaking of content, we've seen Network 10 sign an exclusive deal for research with David Castron. He's quite a guru in terms of research. Yeah, we've had him on the
show too. He had a product called Q Scores, which used to sell to the networks. He'd go out and research a pilot or a program, give the networks a heads up, look, yeah, this show might work, or tweak it to target a certain demo a little bit better. You'd do better with your ad revenue. So he's signed up with 10 to work exclusively with them. I think he's off in the US at the moment, up to the screenings for all their new programs. So he's going to get in there. He'll do some research on all that stuff, and hopefully give them a bit of a heads up, be more competitive.
And just looking, there's been quite a few new programs launched as well in the past week. We've seen a couple actually come through from Screen Time. Yeah,
that's Bikie Wars and Tricky Business. Bikie Wars, the Milperra Massacre recreation, if you like, 6-episode miniseries.
7, the Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, US drama. Again, that did really well. Tuesday evenings, early in the night. The Living Room on 10. They want to suck up a bit of that audience that watch Better Homes and Gardens on Friday nights, because some of that audience gets football now from 7. So a bit of a slow start, but it's. I think they've got they want it on air 30 weeks a year, so they'll give it time to build.
Just looking too at what this might do then for the ratings year then, how's it shaping up? Because I did see there was talk that perhaps 9 might rush forward another series of The Voice, but...
Yeah, look, I don't think they will. So it's a massive investment, they couldn't do that twice in 1 year, I don't think, but it could tip the balance perhaps in their favour to where it looked like 7 were going to walk away with the year. We've mentioned before, The Voice has really turned it into it's game on at the moment, with the Olympics still to come for 9. They'll definitely be in a box seat and finish a lot stronger than a lot of people thought they would.
All right, thanks for that, James. Time now for a check on the media sector's performance on the share market this week. Here's Chris Weston from IG Markets.
Good afternoon, Bridie. Not a huge amount of news to go off this week. It's really been about positioning your portfolio ahead of what's been going with the Greek elections, and obviously the impact that's had on sentiment, and confidence is being eroded, hence why a lot of these stocks in the media space have been seeing strong headwinds. I look quite closely at the SMI data. This looks at the advertising spend, and encapsulates about 55 to 60% of the ad market coming through. If you look at 10, you can clearly see the headwinds this stock's facing. It's down about 8% this week. It's about 15% away days from all-time lows that it made back in March 2009 of around about 50 odd cents, 59 cents. But the SMI data there clearly showing that the revenue is on the decline there. The revenue declined about 14.4% on the previous corresponding period. You compare that to the likes of 7, which was up about 11.6%. You compare that to the likes of 9, which is up 3.6%. In terms of revenue share, that was very disappointing for this company at 24.9%. You compare that to the previous corresponding period at 29%. You can see that it's been going backwards. Total revenue numbers down about 13%, and that stock's down about 5% for the week. And I think that's actually at all-time lows at the moment. On a more positive note, Gina Ridehart is sitting there on the board. There's still people talking about, what the implications of her being on the board going forward. Alan Gray, who's one of the biggest fund managers, owns about 8% of the stock, is after explicit guarantees that she's going to act in the best interests of shareholders. Looking at the stocks that have done well this week, we've got Consolidated Media pushing up to new highs of 336. That stock looks quite attractive at these levels on a momentum basis. Then you've got News Corp, which is making 52-week highs, and that's clearly looking at the dollar strength coming through. That's about 30 cents from a 52-week high now, and that's overlooking what we're seeing from Rebecca Brooks. And I think from a value play, whilst the stock's pulled back 18% from the April high, Seven West Media, it's got 18% EPS growth, trading on a PE of about 7.9, and I think that looks quite attractive for a long-term investor there.
And we just ending the program there, James. As always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Brodie. See you next
James
week.
Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week. That's all we have time for from the team here. Thanks for your company.